Hey there guys, what is going on today? We are going to be talking about the top 5 best close range class setups in Cold War Season 5. There are some absolutely fantastic weapons up close, and as the seasons do go on, we actually get better and better weapons in this game, which is just absolutely fantastic. We got stuff that is mostly featured in Season 5 on this list, which is a little weird, but you know, it is what it is here. Hopefully some of these absolutely broken weapons will get nerfed eventually. Just before we do get into it here, instead of asking you guys to subscribe today, we're actually trying something a little bit different. We are going for a like goal. If we can get this one to 15 likes, that would be absolutely crazy. So again, your like goal today on this video is 15 likes, and that'd be a fantastic number to hit. So let's try and do that. So let's talk about the top 5 best close range class setups in Cold War right now. So as I said, one of the funnier things about this list here is it actually contains 3 different weapons from Season 5, which is absolutely ridiculous here. And one of them, as I'm sure you are aware of by now, is of course the Tec-9. This thing is a 3-shot kill at about 25 meters or so with a decent fire rate and like 160 milliseconds worth of TTK, which is absolutely absurd for something like this, man. Like, this is just one of the best weapons in the game, if not the absolute best of the best right now. Just being able to get a fully auto 3-shot kill weapon up close is just absolutely ridiculous, and this is one of the most powerful guns in the game right now. The rest of our class setup is not super relevant, as you can pretty much pick and choose whatever you do prefer. Most of the options that we do go with are pretty common though, like Ninja Ghost, Sim Shots, MTEX, whatever you do prefer in those slots though. In terms of the attachments for the Tec-9, we do have something like this. We have featured this class a lot recently, but it is absolutely broken. Starting off with the full auto repeater for increasing our fire rate by 45%, as well as giving us that full auto fire. It can actually take the burst fire repeater as well, because this does give you that 1 burst kill. When you get that 1 burst on target, you hit all 3 bullets on somebody, you are getting a 1 burst kill, which is really, really nice here. But I think the full auto repeater is just easier to use, so that makes it more powerful. Then we have the Task Force barrel here for increasing our damage range and bullet velocity. 6% increase to damage, 50% range, and 75% bullet velocity increases our ability to hit targets from further away, which means this is not just a close range option, but also a medium to longer distance class setup as well. You take a look at those values, you see 25 meters of damage range and 450 meters per second of bullet velocity is really nice for hit detection. Then we look at the underbarrel here. You pretty much want more recoil control with this thing. Keeping those shots down and on target is again very, very important. So 6% increase to vertical recoil control and 20% horizontal is a really nice boost here to help keep those shots down. But you can just take a foregrip as well if you're just after horizontal recoil control without any negative stats. Then we move to the magazine. We do actually have the STANAG 39 round mag here for the most amount of bullets to fire with the Tec-9. The reload speed reduced that we get from this thing is actually not too bad, so it's only a 10% decrease, which still means we can reload quite quickly, as well as this only decreasing our aim down sight speed by 15%, which we can basically completely negate here with the airborne elastic wrap, giving us 30% increase to our aim down sight speed, as well as a bit of flinch resistance, and of course we can drop shot people with this thing, which is absolutely disgusting. I feel like you already know the Tec-9's broken. If you've played the game recently, you already know how strong the Tec-9 is, but this is the best class setup in my opinion. Then we move to another weapon that we did receive in the most recent update, man. The Season 5 patch was absolutely insane. We got the EM2 assault rifle here. This is in a close range variant. Normally you would consider this thing to be a medium to long range distance absolute powerhouse, and that is true, but that 220 millisecond time to kill with the Task Force arrow actually does apply to close range as well, meaning this is one of the better close range weapons in the game. Meaning this is probably the best all-around weapon in the game, as you can fight at pretty much all distances. Again, the rest of the class setup is not super relevant. You can pick and choose whatever you do prefer in the tactical, lethal, field upgrades, secondary perks, whatever you want in these slots. But for the EM2 assault rifle, the attachments do look like this. Starting off with the optic here, we've got the Microflex LED. The regular sight is nice, and it really does allow us to fight appropriately at medium to longer distances. But having that at close range does actually block off your peripheral a little too much, so we do take a nice clear picture with the Microflex LED. This allows us to get a very, very clean sight here. Then again, as we move to the suppressor here, this does allow us to give that muzzle flash concealment, meaning we don't appear on the radar when we are firing this thing. This only decreases our effective damage range and bullet velocity by 15% and 8% respectively, making those values actually still quite powerful, with 50 meters of damage range and almost 1,000 meters per second of bullet velocity, which is great for hit detection. Giving us those values, of course, is the old reliable, the Task Force barrel. This actually does allow us to get that 3-shot kill and getting our TTK down to 220 milliseconds with this thing, which is just lightning fast, man. Again, damage, range, and bullet velocity for hit detection, of course, and hitting targets that are further away. This class setup is really focused around close range, and this allows us to do the most damage up close. Then we move to the magazine. Because we don't actually have much recoil with this thing, we do not need to take an underbarrel or any recoil controlling attachments. Again, magazine, STANAG 40 round mag does give us the most amount of bullets to fire with this thing, and not reducing our aim down sight speed and reload speed by too much. This is a really great attachment. And then we move to, of course, the handle, again, that airborne elastic wrap to reduce the aim down sight speed negative that we do get from the magazine, and allowing us to pull up those sights very, very quickly here, giving us an aim down sight speed of 255 milliseconds, which is basically middle of the road for these kind of assault rifles. Finally, we are back to the weapons that were not introduced in Season 5, absolutely broken weapons in this game up close, though of course we are talking about the AK74u. If you are getting 2 headshots and a body shot, you're getting a 3-shot kill, which I mean, when you compare that to the Tec-9, you're like, that's a little bit more difficult, but it does still kill very, very similarly in terms of like 150 millisecond, 160 millisecond TTK. It's just a little more difficult than the Tec-9. But this is still an absolute fan favorite weapon from all the way back in Black Ops, man. Just this thing is an absolute gunner, of course. Again, 3-shot kill, decent TTK values across the board, man. I love the AK74u. The attachments on this thing, of course, do look like this for that Spetsnaz compensator, or you can take the KGB eliminator as well if you want more muzzle flash concealment and a little bit more vertical recoil control. But just keeping us on target with 12% with the compensator is still a nice boost. Then we move to, of course, the Task Force barrel. This is allowing us to get that 3-shot kill. 2 headshots and a body shot gives you a ridiculously fast TTK value in this game. It's one of the fastest going around, so just keep that in mind here, as well as decent hit detection with that extra bullet velocity. Then in the underbarrel here, we are going for just a standard foregrip here for 18% increase to our horizontal recoil control and no negative stats here. We don't really want to reduce our shooting movement speed here by too much, so again, just a regular foregrip. Then in the handle slots, we do have an interesting one here. We just normally take the Serpent Wrap here for 25% increase to our aim down sight speed. Now you're probably wondering why we don't take the GRU Elastic Wrap on this thing. This actually reduces our close range stats in our shooting movement speed and our sprint to fire speed by a little too much to make this a good option. And again, it's only 5% increase over the aim down sight speed. So again, for better close range statistics, we take the Serpent Wrap here, and you can probably do that with a lot of the other class setups that we have mentioned today, but again, the magazine, you might have to change that, so just keep that in mind here. And then we round this off with the KGB skeletal stock for the sprint to fire speed increase of 30%, as well as 10% aim walking movement speed, but as usual, you can switch the stock option out for a magazine if you prefer that, but again, that's an attachment option that is up to you. Continuing on our streak here of not mentioning weapons at all that were coming from Season 5, we are looking at the KSP. This is an absolute beast of a weapon that a lot of people are kind of scared to use because people really aren't drawn to 3-burst weapons regardless of how good they are in this game. However, this thing does feature a 1-burst kill with a 220 millisecond TTK, which is really, really fast for this game. If you are landing all of those bullets, you are just deleting people from the game. And this was one of the fastest killing. And then they added the Tec-9, then they added the EM2, and people were like, oh, these are just easier to use. So it is what it is here. But again, the KSP is still one of the fastest killing, best close range class ups in the game right now. Again, the rest of the stuff you can pick and choose whatever you do prefer. That's really up for you to decide, but this is what I'd usually prefer. And then, of course, the KSP attachments, we start off with that suppressor here for that muzzle flash concealment. Basically, with the suppressors on most of these class setups, that basically just keeps you alive for longer because good players will hunt your red dot down on the minimap if you are firing an unsuppressed weapon. Then we take it again to the Task Force barrel, basically giving us the best possible hit detection with the bullet velocity increases, as well as maximizing our 1-burst kill potential, increasing our damage by 6%. To 53 damage per bullet, as well as giving us a potential 1-burst kill distance of about 20 meters, which is very, very powerful here. Then again, the underbarrel here, you just need a little bit of horizontal recoil control with this thing. It's more like visual recoil when you do fire this thing. The iron sight does bounce around a little bit, making your follow-up shot a little bit more difficult to hit. So adding a front grip here for 15% increase to our horizontal recoil control does really help keep our shots on target. Then we finish this class setup off with, of course, a handle, and that is the Serpent Wrap for 25% increase to our aim down sight speed. Not taking the airborne elastic wrap here, as we haven't reduced our aim down sight speed with a magazine attachment because 3-burst weapon, you don't really need it. And again, we finish this off with the stock, the Raider stock again. Sprint to fire speed and aim walking movement speed is a really, really good combination of stats for close range weapons. And then we finish this video off with the most recent addition to the game, again in Season 5. We are talking about the Marshal. Now, this is a very, very cool weapon that I'm so thankful that they added to this game. I really feel like they could have put something like this in like Modern Warfare, man. I was calling for the Dragon's Breath 725 for so long, and this is basically what this feels like. Again, the attachment options are kind of limited with what you go with, but again, to get the best out of this thing, you do actually have to rank this up to level 35. But again, you can only have 3 attachments on this thing, so we're going to blast through this very, very quickly. Again, starting off with that barrel, we do have the extended option for 20% increase to our effective damage range, but there is something to be said for the cut down barrel as well for the fire rate increase of 11%. It's sort of a little bit of a trade-off, sort of depends on how you do want to play with this thing. If you're strictly speaking up close combat, like you're guaranteed to get those kills up close, the cut down barrel is what you probably want to go with, but if you want to fight a little bit more extended barrel is for you. Then of course the magazine, we just take that Dragon's Breath because it increases our damage. We don't really care about the reload quickness, we don't care about the effective damage range. Just mean we do more damage with our shotgun, means more kills up close. And then we round this off with our stock for the dual wield variety, giving us 2 of these pistols. Is absolutely hilarious. I love it so much running around with these things. Imagine if we had dual wield 725 Dragon's Breath in Modern Warfare. That would have absolutely ruined the game. but it wouldn't have been surprising to see, man. There was some wild stuff in Modern Warfare. But again, that is our top 5 best close range class setups in the game right now. These are absolutely dominant weapons up close, and some of them even extend to medium to long range combat if you do include something like the EM2, man. You can kit this thing out in so many different ways, and a lot of these weapons really do excel at most distances, including like the Tec-9 and of course the EM2 as we mentioned. But again, thank you very much for watching this one. I do massively appreciate it, of course. Try and get us to 15 likes, guys. That is the like goal on this video, 15 likes, and we will continue uploading all of the stuff here. We might even see a long-range class setup if you do prefer that kind of stuff. Again, thank you very much for watching, and hopefully I will see you in the next video. Bye!